Okay, this is Chapter 5, Section 4. This is dealing with point-slope form. So our objective is to write and graph a linear equation using point-slope form. So this is just another different form from slope-intercept. So what we want to make sure that you get down is point-slope form, and this equation right here. Remember in this equation, so point-slope form is used when you know the slope of a line and you know at least one point which it goes through. And in this formula, y1 is the y-coordinate of that point that the line goes through, and x1 is the x-coordinate of the point that the line goes through. And then m is still your slope, so nothing changes there. So in order to do this, we're just going to plug these numbers into the equation. So your slope is -5, so that's m. Your point that the line passes through is -3 and 6. And so understand that all this is we have some line that passes through -3, 1, 2, 3, and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have some line that passes through there that has a slope of -5. That's all that this is saying right now, is that there's some line that passes through that point. That's the slope that it has, and we're wondering what's the equation of that line. So the way that we can do that, and we're writing it in point-slope form, so that's y minus y1, so y1 is 6, equals the slope, which is -5, times x minus x1, which is -3. Now this is very important. Just because this is minus doesn't mean you leave the minus sign off. It's minus -3, and we know that that can turn that into positive. So your final answer is y minus 6 equals -5 times x plus 3. And that's the way that you leave it. That's point-slope form. Again, a line passes through 8, -4. It has a slope of 2/3. Write an equation in point-slope form. So y minus y1, so that's -4. Slope, which is m, is 2/3. X minus x1, which is 8. Clean this up a little bit. This becomes y plus 4 equals 2/3 times x minus 8, and that is our formula. What is the graph of the equation? So how do you graph something like that? Well, we're able to pick apart this equation and find enough information where we could graph it. So the first thing is pretty easy. The slope is 2/3, so we know right off the bat that the slope is 2/3. The other thing that we're able to do is find a point. Okay, so we have two numbers here. We have 2 and 1. The question is this -2 or is this +2? This is x1, so this is the number that's going to go right there underneath x1, and this is going to be our y1. The formula says, or I'm sorry, the equation says that it's supposed to be x minus x1. So if it's x minus x1, you say, what is this number right here? It's a 2, +2. And same goes for the y1, it's a +1. So now we have a point. So we can go over to 2 and up to 1, and we know that that's a point. We can get more points by using the slope. Going up 2 to the right 3, there's another point. Up 2 to the right 3, and now we have enough where we can draw a line that goes through this point as that slope. That's the equation. I'll give you a second if you'd like to try this on your own. Okay, so what we're doing here is figuring out first our slope is -4/5, and we need to know that point. So x minus, so that means that x1 is 4, and here it should be y minus, but since it's plus, that means it had to be y minus -7 in order to turn that to a plus sign. So therefore y1 is -7. So we go over 4, down 7, Now we use our slope. So that's down 4. I don't have room. So what I can do is switch the minus sign since I don't have room to go down. So that means I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a point. Up 4, over 5. And now you have enough information where you can draw a line through those points. That is what this section is about. This is point slope form. It's very important that you understand the different parts of it. The last thing I want you to make sure that you know is that it's very easy to change this over to slope intercept form. Okay? And so let's say you had this equation, but it asks you to write it in slope intercept form. Well, what we would have to do is distribute. So we're going to take this equation and we're going to distribute. Remember, slope-intercept form just means that we have to get y by itself, right? We want to get our y all by itself. So if I distribute, I get negative 4/5 times x. And we have negative 4/5 times negative 4. So what does that turn into? Well, that turns into a positive 16 over 5. Then to get y by itself, we have to minus 7. And if we minus 7, we get negative 4/5 x. This is, okay, 16 over 5. So we basically have to turn 7 into, how many fifths is that? So that'd be the same as saying minus 35 fifths. And I did that by saying this is 7 over 1, but I need to turn it into how many fifths? Well, that's 1 times 5 gives 5, negative 7 times 5 gives you negative 35. So 16 minus 35, that gives us 19, negative 19, so that's minus 19 fifths. And now we have that equation in slope-intercept form. So it's not hard to go from point-slope form to slope-intercept form. There may be times where you need to do that. So it's just simple algebra. If you have any questions, please write them down.